why Poole? What did you like about Poole?
We liked his playmaking. We liked his shot making, versatility. Plays multiple positions. Worked him out here, where you guys are sitting and standing. He's a confident player, so some upside there too. Just 2 years in college and pretty young. I think he just turned 20. So Draymond said he likes him.
Bob, it seems like you did emphasize, finding some scorers and some guys who can maybe make an impact. I know you said that yesterday. You're hoping that a couple of these guys could at least have an impact right away.
I hope so. I mean, it's so hard. We liked all these guys, and you just don't know when they're gonna. We've learned that me sitting up here pontificating is just guessing. But these are guys we liked. We're happy with it, and seemed like good kids. All kind of different kind of kids coming from different places. One 4-year guy, one European guy, and one younger player. So kind of and look, they're all different positions, which we'll get to see them in the summer league. Hopefully, all three of them.
Hey, Bob, what did you see about, I know Alen was in your G League. What did you see that made you want to trade just to draft him?
Well, it's rare to get that much opportunity to watch a guy play like we did with Alen. So you get to know his work ethic a little bit better than you do on a college kid. We're not around the college kids quite as much, but especially Kent Lake, having been around Alen most of the year, our coaching staff, Aaron Miles. So in a lot of these situations, you're really you do bet on the player, but you also bet on the person. And having had the opportunity for those guys to kind of watch him practice, watch him work, watch him grow, that stuff really matters. I mean, whoever we draft, they all have to get better. And how they get better is usually through working hard. And so if you know a guy's got a pretty good work ethic and he's got good size, good feel, good confidence, all those factors, you combine them all, and I think it made us feel pretty good about that selection.
Hey, Bob, I know this is kind of an early question to ask, but when you look at the totality of the guys that you picked today, what's your early expectations of what they can provide for you next season?
Yeah, I mean, I just expect that they'll be good people and work hard and make us look good. I don't know. Every year you draft, you put your best foot forward, you hire good people, and you take your shots, and then you go with that. And you look. I mean, there's probably somebody grading this draft right now. I don't know if we got an F or an A or a C. I have no idea. Which is understandable. That people like to see grades. It's fine. I like to see stuff like that too. But I don't know. I mean, look. I hope they work hard. I hope they're humble. I hope that they fit into our culture. I mean, that's why we took them. And I hope they help us win some basketball games. When it happens, does it happen in next season? I know that they're lucky to be around Steve Kerr and the coaching staff. They're lucky to be playing in a brand new facility. They're lucky to be playing for an ownership group like this. So I hope they take advantage of it.
Bob, you took 2 second rounders. One is 18 and the other one's 22, 23 years old. Is it fair to expect more early from the 22-year-old or the older guy than from Alen?
It might be, Monty. It might be. But one guy played in the G League, and that's a little bit more of a man's league than college. The G League probably approximates the NBA more than college does. So maybe it evens out. Eric's obviously older than Alen, but you factor in some pretty good experience playing against older guys and playing NBA rules. Which Alen has done and Eric hasn't. So maybe that evens out, but we'll see. I mean, it really matters what they look like a year, 2, 3 years from now than what they look like in 2 weeks or a month. But they're all different, right? So we'll see. I mean, they'll all probably grow at different rates. I just hope they all end up in a good place.
Bob, you mentioned, kind of being patient with these guys, right? Kind of not knowing when exactly they'll materialize in the league. But considering where you guys are at with, how your salary cap might look, later on after free agency. How much of a priority was it to find players that you could potentially plug in and play in this coming season?
Yeah, I mean, it's we will likely, no matter what transpires, be somewhat limited in free agency as far as spending. It's hard to find young players. I've said that before. The hope is that, look, I mean, even if one of them give us good minutes, great. Two can, great. I don't know. Who knows who that guy will be, but we like these three well enough, and if they can help us next year, that'd be great. If they can't, hopefully they'll help us the year after. We still have some roster spots. We've got a lot of free agents, so we'll go out and try to do the best we can there too. But in the idea behind the draft is it's pretty good value. The league and the system set up that if you can capitalize on the draft, it's probably the best way to build a team. It's the most cost effective, and if you do it well, you can really benefit. So we'll see what we did in this one, but overall we're pretty pleased with this group of guys.
Given what you said about how it's about how they progress 2 to 3 years from now, is there any sense of drafting on the basis of need at all, or when you're drafting that late, do you just do it like it's in a vacuum?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you like to find spots where you're deficient in. You like to do that, but sometimes you can't. I think we still are looking at best player. It seems like the league seems to be valuing the wing position a lot, but I think everybody's doing that. But it doesn't mean if we really liked a big in that spot, we wouldn't have done it. Obviously, Alen's a big. But our philosophy is kind of get the best player you can at that spot. I mean, just getting a guy that can get in your rotation, I think, is a value when we're looking at who we're going to get at 28 or even 39 and 41.
Marcus Thompson, Athletic. First, Bob, did you listen to the rap battle between Damian Lillard and Marvin Bagley in the back? Is that what you were doing?
Wait, I couldn't hear. What'd you say? I couldn't.
Never mind. What happens tonight? Does it have any impact on how you move when it comes to free agency, or will that be like its own entity as you start collecting players for next season?
I think free agency is. I mean, will it affect it? Yes. This affects the roster spots we have. It affects the ability to sign. If we just drafted one player, it obviously gives us more roster spots. Positionally, I think we still got to go out in free agency. At least we know what we're dealing with as far as, we drafted Jordan. You could call a combo guy. I don't know if you call Eric a 3 or a 4 or 4-3. Alen's probably a 4-5, 5-4. Does it make you, look differently at free agency? I don't really think so right now. But we haven't had a ton of time. For us, free agency might be what presents itself. I mean, I don't know that we can dictate free agency as far as outspending anybody. Hopefully people view us as a good place, a place they can get in a good culture and a good organization and enjoy going to work every day. We have to rely upon that and hopefully the chance to win for free agents. Whereas these guys, they don't have a choice. We just pick them. They got to come. Free agents, most of the time, they choose what they want to do.
Oh, Bob, you said that even if you have Kevin or Clay coming back next year, they're still going to be, with their injuries, a gap in scoring. Do you see with any of these guys that can help alleviate that gap that's going to come out next season?
I mean, that'd be pretty great if they could. I don't know. I think if they can get on the court, any of them, and we'll get a little bit of a better sense, as everybody does, right? You all go to summer league and that guy's better than I thought, or that guy can do this, but he can't do that, or that guy seems like he's adapted to the NBA three-point line pretty quickly, or that guy needs work. We learn sometimes like you do, not just our players, any player. I mean, the whole league sits there, whether you're in whatever summer league you're in, you have an immediate takeaway, and then you wonder, can that player improve upon any of deficiencies, or the strengths they have, can they capitalize on those and actually be able to do the things they do in summer league in an NBA game? Because for the most part, Alen's the only one that we've seen in a semblance of an NBA game. NBA game is much different than college. We'll have an idea, and Steve will have an idea coming out of camp, coming out of summer league a little bit. who can we possibly rely on to, I can't tell you right now which one of the three might command the most minutes. I really don't know. That's Steve's call. That's actually in the hands of these players. But, it doesn't have to be right away. It just has to be at some point, and that's what we're hoping for.
Bob, you mentioned Draymond's approval of the Jordan Poole pick. Was he present in the draft room tonight like he was last season?
No, he said he was on a plane, texting from the plane. Most people, I guess, watching a movie, he's watching the draft. I don't know. I was kind of joking with him because he's the Michigan State guy. But he asked me for Poole's number, and I guess maybe he texted him. I don't know if he did yet, but I guess it's good if he likes the guys.
Hey, Bob, I was wondering, what do you think the organization has shown when it comes to player development, and where do you think that goes into play with handling these draft picks?
I mean, I think the last time we had this many guys was the Harrison, Draymond, Festus, maybe. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe we have drafted 3 players. I don't think we have. Was that the last time? We had drafted 4 that year. It's important, right? And maybe more important now. So I think, the organization, Steve and his staff do a really good job. Everybody develops at their own rate, and it's an important part of the game. It always has been, but we've been a pretty vet-heavy team for the past few years, and this is whether it's these guys and you add Jacob and whatever else we do. I mean, maybe we sign a minimum guy or any guy that's younger. It's going to be an important part of our process. And so a lot of it's on the coaches and a lot of it's on these guys. They got to show up and do their job. I mean, this is professional sports now. I mean, they got to want it. And so when you draft a guy, you hope that they want to be great or good as much as you want them to, but you can't make them. So when you draft guys, hopefully they look over there and see our vets working. And they see that, a guy like Steph Curry over on the basket over there is working harder than they are. That's a problem because he's already checked a lot of boxes in his career. So you put guys in a culture like that, you put them around high quality players and people, and hopefully sometimes by osmosis they pick it up.